Tesla announces a 4680 battery cell production breakthrough as it produced its 20 millionth battery cell at the factory, reports Electric. This, of course, is certainly great news, but what does that mean for Tesla exactly? It now gives us some idea of the production rate since Tesla announced the production of the 10 millionth 4680 cell at Giga Texas in June. Therefore, we know that Tesla produced 10 million 4680 cells in the last 16 weeks. Electric estimates that's enough for about 1,200 vehicles per week, and Electric says this is major progress. They also wouldn't be surprised if Tesla is already producing 1 million battery cells per week at Gigafactory Texas. Troy estimates that at the current rate of these batteries being produced, Tesla could use them to make about 650 Cybertrucks per week. And Troy thinks it's enough for now, but they need to keep improving the cell production rate by about 10 times, ideally within 12 months. And remember that this growth could be exponential. So just 650 Cybertrucks per week right now may not sound like a lot, but it could add up really fast. New Model 3 Giga Shanghai production ramp continues to go extremely well. Tesla China team is killing it, says Sawyer. And I agree. These are all refresh Model 3s being prepared for export. It is a lot of cars. And yes, they are definitely refresh Model 3s. You can tell by the lights. Tesla is now offering factory color wraps in the US for the Model Y and the Model 3 starting at $7,500. And here are a few of these colors. This green looks pretty interesting to me. This one is called rose gold and it does look expensive. Which ones do you like? I also like the white. And here just a regular Tesla without a wrap in white. Yeah, I like this one better. And then there's this black. I think a lot of these will look quite a bit better in person than in these pictures. And you know, it will definitely be offered for the Cybertruck as well. So to me, this is fairly bullish. And I mean specifically bullish for the Cybertruck in the long term, because if the Cybertruck only has one color option, basically stainless steel, then I think the demand would be a little bit lower. Still really good, but with wraps, it will be even better. Ian Tesla says that this film is self-healing. It protects the paint beneath from chips, scratches, and swirling, and the purchase price includes the cost of materials and installation. I wonder what the margins will be for this. I suspect that over time, Tesla will lower the price, and your vehicle, though, must be a 2023 Model 3 or Model Y, perhaps because Tesla does not want to deal with all of the ultrasonic sensors. And someone says that you can supposedly get this done for half the price at some other wrap shop. But this is PPF, meaning it is self-healing. And if you look at that, I think Tesla is fairly competitive, keeping in mind that the price will probably be lowered later. If you go with this business, you will only save $1,000. But my biggest takeaway from this is that from now on, you will probably be able to get a Cybertruck in any color as long as it's that stainless steel color, as well as any other color. Over time, I am sure Tesla will add more color options. Currently, there are only 2 Tesla centers that offer this service, and they are both in California, but in the future, I am sure this will be widely expanded. The reaction from most Tesla stock bulls is pretty positive. Seems like many of them did not expect this. I mentioned before that, you know, these Cybertruck wraps looked a bit suspicious to me. And my thinking was that there was a good chance that Tesla would offer something like this, so I ended up being right on this. I just didn't think Tesla would start offering this so quickly. I thought maybe they would start doing it a bit later. So I am surprised positively here as well. The color wraps also include door jambs, which often requires doors to be removed and is very labor intensive. And keeping in mind that these Tesla centers are in California, the pricing is indeed quite competitive. California has high labor costs. And James says, I love this move from Tesla. Surely demand for wraps will be huge with the Cybertruck. Let's hope they can manage the demand. One reason why including the door jambs is a pretty big deal is because when you open the door, you want the color to naturally extend. Otherwise, it will just look really weird. You don't really need to do that with clear wrap options, but you want to do that with the color options. I also think a Cybertruck in black will look pretty good. I think this render is not the greatest, but I can imagine it looking pretty good. An important milestone for us Tesla stock investors, the Tesla Model Y has seemingly surpassed 2 million sales worldwide. We got a price target change from UBS here. They cut their price target for Tesla stock from $290 to $266, but they maintain a neutral rating. Jefferies also lowered their Tesla stock price target. They lowered it from 265 to 250. They said, "We continue to think that everything Tesla does differently from the rest of the industry can also be done by others if given time, making speed essential to maintain an edge." The latter seems to have been eroding from product features. But so many companies, actually pretty much every single one of them, has not figured out yet that full self-driving is going to be solved through vision. Although my thinking is more that they realize it's basically the first winner takes most market, because if you solve it with vision, it's scalable, and so therefore they realize, maybe we shouldn't even really try. And the ones that are trying are using LiDAR, which is sort of a hope that the vision approach will not work for a very long time, and so in between now and then, they can maybe somehow monetize with LiDAR and then probably have their business be crushed once Tesla solves full self-driving with their vision approach. But overall, I think that argument that was stated here by Jefferies is just another version of competition is coming. We have been hearing that for a decade now, pretty much. In the competition that is supposedly competing with Tesla, they are not even trying to build a Dojo supercomputer or anything like the Tesla bot. And if competition, let's say, does come and it actually hurts Tesla, we have learned, especially from that last biography about Elon Musk, that Elon Musk does so well under pressure when things are going badly. So I believe that Tesla is very well positioned. Wells Fargo also reiterated an equal weight rating on Tesla and cut its 12-month price target on the stock to 260, down from 265. Wells Fargo also sees gross profit margins falling to 16.3% in Q3 and further weakness in Q4. They expect the profit margins to fall below 15%. I'm not worried about that. If you have access to my valuation model, go to my base case and look at 2028. And then compare that to profit margins I have later for Tesla. And you will then see why I am not worried at all. Oh, look at this. This is Ford and this is a Giga press. Idra, an Italian Giga casting machine maker and Tesla supplier, has added Ford, Hyundai, and a European company to its customer base. A Giga press 6100, which produces a clamping force of over 6,000 tons with the Ford brand printed on it, had been assembled and was being tested in Idra's plant. Idra was also about to sign a supply contract for two 9,000-ton presses with a premium automaker in Europe, its first with a European group. One thing, though, that is important when you're working with these Giga presses is you need to have a vehicle that sells a lot of volume. And because Tesla's Model Y will be the world's best-selling car, Tesla is in the best position to benefit the most from these Giga presses. The first Tesla Model 3 Highlands for customers are about to arrive in Europe. In roughly 6 days, the ship will arrive at that port. There was also a comment on my video yesterday that said I am from the European Union, and I can confirm that my Highland will be delivered in the second half of October. So there shouldn't be any weird delays here. I reported earlier how the European Union really does not like the Chinese selling their cars in Europe because Europe thinks that China is unfairly subsidizing these vehicles. However, most electric cars produced in Europe, but also some made in Asia, will qualify for subsidies in France, the finance ministry said. But Asia does not mean that Chinese vehicles will qualify. It actually says specifically that many Chinese automakers will not be able to get the subsidies. But for Tesla, that shouldn't really be a problem at all because we have Giga Berlin. But if Tesla does not make the refresh Model 3 in Giga Berlin in the near future, this could create a bit of a challenge for Tesla. I am sure though that Tesla is very well aware of the situation and they will make the best decision possible. Tesla seemingly is making some more progress in Mexico. This is a bit of a surprise. Remember that wireless charging company that Tesla acquired in Germany? Well, 3 months after acquiring it, it has sold it now, but Tesla is reportedly still retaining an important piece of the company and their engineers are not included in the deal and will move to Tesla. Alright, some more good news. This is Asia's first V4 Tesla supercharger station. This is in Hong Kong, I think. Tesla's V4 superchargers in the US include integrated CCS adapters and also they have credit card readers. It appears that the referral program is going to end in Korea and China on October 31st. This could be just a way to create some urgency, but it could also indicate that either the demand is fairly strong or that the referral program was not all that effective and therefore it is better to cut the price instead of offering a referral bonus. And now we have final data for Tesla sales in China. If it was not for the refreshed Model 3, I think we would have had a pretty big record in China. If you compare these months, you will see that actually in September we had quite a few more exports than how many exports we usually have, and that's because of the refresh Model 3. So things I would say are looking all right. And here's a breakdown by model of China's sales. Interestingly, all superchargers in Israel are free now. There's obviously a conflict going on in that part of the world. Are you guys interested at all in what's happening in that part of the world? If yes, maybe I should make a video of what's happening there and why it is happening. So leave a comment down below. Sometimes some Tesla stock investors focus so much on the next quarter that they missed the big picture. James posted this: since 2020, Tesla has achieved 50% average annual growth in vehicle deliveries. In fact, they are ahead of that pace in 2023 with a full quarter left to go. I am not expecting 50% year-over-year growth next year, but once Tesla releases the next generation vehicle, I do expect Tesla to get back to the 50% year-over-year growth rate. You can see my exact numbers on my Patreon. Tesla Scope has a rumor for us. This was a had to wait until it was hinted at publicly before we share its scenario, but Tesla will offer a Cybertruck wrap service with multiple choices within 6 months of the first customer deliveries. There are no price confirmations yet, but it is expected to be between $8,000 to $12,000. Well, this is unexpected, but really good for Tesla in the long term. Vermont's largest utility, Green Mountain Power, wants to install battery storage for all 270,000 of its customers by 2030. They basically want to do that instead of building more power lines. I really like what we are doing here, not just as an investor, but it is certainly great news for Tesla. Tesla's earnings call is scheduled for next Wednesday, and let's remember that Tesla has beaten the consensus in the 10 of the past 12 quarters. That said, in the 7 of the past 12 quarters, the stock price has fallen after earnings. So don't be surprised if it happens. Remember that Model Y that got crushed because the building basically was collapsing? Well, she just got a new Model Y because she knows how safe the Tesla vehicles are. The car was under rubble and there were other cars that looked a bit more like a pancake than a car after all that damage. This is some good PR for Tesla. And this is one of the best videos I've seen that show you the rear steering of the Cybertruck. There's this article in the mainstream media that says that Elon Musk made a big move to compete with Amazon. It basically talks about Dojo and how Morgan Stanley is bullish about it, and that Morgan Stanley basically thinks that Tesla is a tech company. The moment you see things like this being talked about in the media non-stop will be the moment when the Tesla stock buying opportunity will not be as good. But now still, many people really overlook Tesla. Someone's being naughty here trying to make the robot fall. This is a new robot from Disney and it can do a few somewhat impressive things. For example, if you try to rug pull the rug under it, it doesn't fall. Well, at least in the video, it doesn't. This European politician is accusing Elon Musk of misinformation. He's basically saying that there's potentially illegal content on X. And so what does Elon Musk say about this? Our policy is that everything is open source and transparent, an approach that I know the EU supports. Please list the violations you allude to on X so that the public can see them. The politician seemingly refuses to do so, or doesn't want to do so, or maybe he's not aware of the exact violations. I'm not really sure, but he says you are well aware of your users and authorities' reports on fake content and glorification of violence. Up to you to demonstrate that you walk that talk. And Elon replies by saying, we take our actions in the open, no backroom deals. Please post your concerns explicitly on this platform. And Elon also replied to this tweet from Matt. Gotta load generic insinuations coupled with threats of enforcement action. I still don't know what they are talking about, says Elon. Maybe it's in the mail or something. Alexandra is originally from Europe, and she says they don't either, Elon. That's their ruse. Don't fall for it. And maybe ask them if they like BBC. This analyst is pretty decent, and he says, while I was bullish on Lucid in the past, holding the stock is increasingly risky. Now, I like EV companies with significant potential, but Lucid's position has weakened considerably over the last 12 months. At some point, it's best to face reality. I got caught up in the Lucid hype and kept hoping Lucid could get his house in order. That's looking less likely every day. There's a new Morgan Stanley note about Tesla stock with some interesting points. The sentiment around Tesla earnings estimates for Q3 and Q4 skews cautious. Many are wondering if Tesla can grow earnings at all in 2024. Impact of Dojo and AI is difficult to quantify and easy to ignore. And I really like this part. Cybertruck, very little enthusiasm on Tesla's next model. Teething issues seen as perpetuating Tesla's relatively stale model lineup. If Cybertruck is delayed or ramped slowly, then Tesla will be seen as continuing to resort to price cuts, which has been the recent trend. However, if Tesla announced a launch event or start of production with Q3 results, this could be seen as a positive for the stock. They are seriously underestimating the Cybertruck. Very little enthusiasm on Tesla's next model, they say. To me, that's a huge signal that the Cybertruck is not priced in, and in the long term will surprise, well, not me, but many Tesla stock investors, well, at least institutional investors. Today, we see no outbound Cybertrucks, but look at all the trimmed rear castings. I also wonder, just like Gregor here, what do these X's mean? Not all of them seem to have these X's. For example, this one has it, and this one, well, I don't see an X on this one. There's a comment here that says in the Walter Isaacson book, Elon would put an X on things that suck. If I zoom in here, it doesn't seem like most castings have these X's. It seems like it's not a very large number, but there are certainly quite a few. And some seem to be pretty concentrated, like this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. They're pretty much all in one line here. If anyone wants to count and figure out the exact ratio, please leave a comment down below of how many castings have the X and how many do not. Car Buyer UK has named Tesla's Model Y the best company car for 2024. Lower prices and therefore less tax. Tesla has taken the car market by storm with incredible efficiency, fantastic tech, and access to all-conquering supercharger network. There's no better company car right now than the Tesla Model Y. I would like to thank all of my Patreon supporters for supporting this channel. By joining my Patreon, you will get access to how much I think it is fair to pay per Tesla share each year between 2023 and 2033. If you sign up for the investor tier of support, you will also get my valuation model of Tesla stock with a 45-minute video walkthrough. And YouTube says you should watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching that discussion about the future with Elon Musk, watch this one first. My name is Matt Potius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.